I'm ready. Okay. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse, the podcast where we talk about loads of different pop culture, entertainment stuff that we enjoy, such as comic books,
and sometimes stuff we don't enjoy.
And sometimes we don't. Yeah, like most podcasts. Yeah, but sometimes that's stuff we don't enjoy. Volume, wrestling, movies, all the other good stuff. And today, I am the man who has 2 full-blown Russian parents, but then lived in America and then London, but have an American accent.
And sometimes London as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see the British breakthrough.
Yeah, Kyle Charles. Ugh.
And I'm the shoehorned in spider reference into this movie, which, why is it there? But whatever. See why, Chong.
And today, if you haven't guessed, we're going to be talking about the film from the Sonyverse, the Sony Spider Verse, or the SSU, as Wikipedia apparently just told me. Kraven The Hunter, based on Marvel character Kraven The Hunter from Spider-Man.
Of course. But the original version, and not the multiple other versions that they are, because there's the Grim Hunter, and then there's Kraven Jr.,
and then
and then the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I went to watch this film on a Saturday, late night, by the way, yeah? So it was 9:30 I went to the showing, yeah?
Yeah.
Scattering of people, probably about 10.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, okay, well, I mean, I know what film I was going into to watch. I hear the review. Well, hear the reviews.
Yeah.
You read about them, and you're like, yeah. And to see that little people on the day that you think, it should. Generally, Saturdays evenings would be packed. You'd be thinking, right? Well, not packed or pretty much. But no one's going to sit in the front seats, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, so little people. They know. They know.
Like, because I went on Friday. I saw on Friday. I went at about 2:00, but it's 2:00 during the day, so not many people will go anyway. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But I feel like this film should have came out before Madam Web. Then I think more people may have actually been going to see it.
Yeah, well, if you're going to bury a universe, you might as well bury it with an exclamation point that is called Madam Web, right? Fold that over and tuck it and lock it in a box. Finished, done.
Yeah, like, again, I didn't. I don't. Who didn't mind.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I don't hate Madam Web. It's actually, I found it more entertaining this film because of all the wrong reasons. This film tries to be a more straight-laced action adventure film. What I can say is, it looks high budget.
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson looks the beefy part of a superhero character. I want to say kind of like Kraven the Hunter's build as well, but he's like someone you see him do some stuff and you're like, all right, I believe, yeah. When I believe that a guy of that build can pull stuff off, yeah. And Russell Crowe having a Russian accent, speaking in fluent, but I want to say Latin English. That where it's missed out certain words, right? He's engaged in his character. As much as I think that Russell Crowe is an abrasive person outside of the films he plays. He seems like he'll snap at you. So like a short-tempered kind of guy. Anyways, to give credit to him, like at least he's doing the accent, and you're like, yeah, okay. And it's not like his Greek accent in Thor: Love and Thunder, where he looked like he sounded like the local kebab shop owner, right? He's like, okay, yeah, all right. But I can't really give this film too much praise.
Really,
I think some of the parts, like there's decent action, but then there's like, what am I watching? What is the whole package of this film? What is it trying to be? What does it want to be? And I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you find it good, or how did you find it? I understand necessarily good, but you might have been entertained while it not being good or stuff like that.
No, like it entertained me. I kind of saw. I saw it was. I didn't see where I was trying to go, but like, nothing in that film felt like it offended me. For example, something like Morbius, something like, or
what?
Like
no,
Suicide Squad, or something like that. It never offended me. It was.
Yeah. Wait. Did you mean something in Morbius offended you, or
just the whole point of Morbius offended me? But
okay. all right. I was going to say this film, as far as action goes, just seems to be the same level as action film. I mean, seems the same level of Morbius, so it's just like generic, average in the middle.
No.
But you're saying Morbius is worse because it had potential to be better, or
no, like just this, like I don't know. Morbius just seemed like, okay, we're gonna take this. Like, okay, with Kraven, they kind of set up what they wanted to be, right? All right, not like the comic book version, because I personally think the comic book version of Kraven is like a pointless character, for my personal opinion. But anyways, like they're like, hey, this guy, from what we've scattered through his character, like our comic book research and stuff, we could probably turn him into sort of like a kind of a hero, which they did in this film, and I think they did it pretty well. Like, it kind of, like, in this film, they kind of was starting to see to set up his own not universe, but story threads for if there was other films, whatever. Like, Morbius didn't have any of that. I was just like, oh yeah, by the way,
it's Morbin time.
Yeah, you're a vampire. Your friend became a vampire, and that's kind of like it. Well, not a vampire,
you know
but
what?
you know.
This film could have been much better if, I don't know, like in the sense, if you want to fully embrace him being a hero or fully embrace him being a villain, but he has to kind of, I would say, just go the villain route, right? Because it's more intriguing, yeah. So you can do something at the beginning, and then he does. It happens to like in Metal Gear 3, where Big Boss becomes Big Boss. Kraven, something happens, and then Kraven's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go down this way. But Spider-Man has all sorts of animal. I don't say animal totem, but the villains of animal gimmicks. He's a hunter. Why can't you just grab some of those and then throughout the movie he's hunting these guys?
That's, to me, that doesn't sound interesting whatsoever.
Well, no, look, it's like a human guy. Well, yeah, but they powered him up, right? Remember, if he's original Kraven the Hunter, he's got no special abilities.
Yeah.
And then he's got to deal with people that are well, I want to say mutated people because they're not mutated, but powered characters that have special abilities.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's kind of like, you know how they do Batman films, but Batman doesn't go into this more fantastical route.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh yeah, it's reality, and then he doesn't get to fight people like Clayface and stuff like that.
And my personal opinion, that's what ruins all the Batman films. But
yeah, you could have just, but they could have just done it sort of. I don't want to say necessarily sort of done that with Kraven, but just like, you know what, have him do the stuff that they won't allow a realistic Batman to do. I'm not. I get what you mean. It just gives it something more like. There's different types of characters they will never use in the Sonyverse.
Yeah.
You know, this movie got the appearance of the foreigner now. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, for a minute I was like, who is this guy? And then I was like, oh, he actually is someone. For some reason,
but then he's not actually him. So
no, it's like someone sort of different. But it's
fine. But you know, you could have just use characters that they don't usually use and throw him in there. You know, let me go do his hunting stuff. He's a hunter. You know, makes sense with the name, but yeah, I don't know where they were going with it. It's just like, yeah, he's a hero, except that he's got his list of people he's the murder, right? A bit like Green Arrow, right? Okay, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you're a good guy and you're murdering all these people, then where does that leave you? As a tweener? You know, because if you go over the bad guys, if you go after the right bad guys, then you're a hero. How'd that logic work? Because then you're Punisher.
It's the thing. It's the same Punisher thing. It's like so. It's anti-hero. Like, he's doing things for what he believes is benefiting the innocent people, which is somewhat true. It's an awkward line because I think they needed to pick a lane, and then they could have written the movie
in that direction. So then if he's an antagonist, go that way. If he's protagonist, then obviously people got to come at him and stuff like that. But don't be like this dodgy line in the middle where, okay, we know that he becomes a villain. I say we know he becomes a villain, but he's a Spider-Man villain. So that's what we aim to go for. And then we try to work out, we get from there to there. But then through the movie, you kind of have to do that wibbly.
From the movie, they're not, like, you could tell they're not making him going to be a bad guy at all. They've put in the name like, hey, he's a hero because of everything he's done, like his love for animals.
Yeah, I think they try to. Yeah, like, they try to. I feel like. I don't know. I didn't like the movie, to be honest. I'm not gonna go and crap all over it, yeah. But it's just like I just didn't. I was like watching. I was going, all right, well, you know, it's something. It's happening in front of me. Okay, you know, it's not like, for example, we throw shade at Madam Web. But I found it.
You throw shade. I just, it's a film, entertained me for the hour and whatever.
Yeah,
how long it was.
I make fun of it. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. But then there's stuff memorable about it because it's so bad.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, like, trying to remember bits. I'm like, I do remember bits from it. Yeah.
You remember CPR because that happens like 9 times.
The whole foreshadowing of the CPR. Yeah. And
then the Pepsi sign and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the Final Destination flash forward, flashbacks.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel Sims not being Ezekiel Sims, but whatever about that, right? Spider Terminator. Anyways, so you're saying you enjoyed the movie, or are you saying that when you're watching it,
yes,
finally
Mom?
come out?
What? Can you tell me later? I'm doing something. You kind of tell me later because I'm in the middle of.
Okay, it's just that I think it's my insects.
That makes sense. Yeah. All right. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
Cut. Restart.
It's fine.
We're like when Sid when they were talking about Sid and he's like,
we're live, pal.
We might footage. They were live, Sid. We can't.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I saw it as going as like, okay, we're gonna ignore him. Like, we're taking creative choices with his character. Like, we're not making him a villain because what do you?
I don't mind them just taking the character and making an original story because they haven't got the core character they need, which is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, but whatever you have the rights for, you try to use. However, you think they need to be used, which there's better ways to use some places, and you got other characters, but I think some of them in this movie are just shoehorned in there because they're tangentially related, but it's just like, well, we got them, why don't we use them? Because no one else is going to be, Marvel's not going to be using them in the MCU Spider-Man. So it's like, well, yeah, but you don't need to just dash every ingredient into the pot, you know?
But who the only people really shoehorned in was the Foreigner and maybe Rhino. That's literally it. There's no one else. Really.
But but I'm not going to spoil any other. Kraven's half brother, who we know who he is, but
but it's not really.
And then the tag at the end, and then other mentioned names and stuff.
Yeah. But that's not really. If they was going for their builded universe, which they're apparently not now, then it kind of made sense for them to make mentions of him, as they never made any mention of him in the other.
Well, first of all, we have to see where it goes, And I'm not saying, by the way, they are going to end the Sony Spider-Man universe because that's how Sony are making their money. It's just like, if you put out better quality films, then people come watch them and you'll be all right,
Well, I don't know about
that. But at some point as well, it's like one of those things where if they keep on throwing the in association with Marvel tag as though it is a Marvel Studios film, Marvel Studios have to say to them, look, man, that's not cool.
No, but they kind of have to because that's part of the agreement for them getting Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, when you know where it says in association with Marvel, I know people don't think of it, Marvel Studios is a separate entity, and they make their films, right? It's just like, many a time, Sony here have just used the in association with Marvel to make people think, it's part of the Marvel MCU universe. And then the film doesn't do well, and then it kind of has a knockback effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they tried that. First. I think they first tried it with Morbius, and then they did it with Madam Web. But even the people acting in Madam Web thought they were part of the MCU.
Yeah, but then same with Morbius. Then they think like Tyrese thought he was part of the
Yeah.
MCU,
I think,
but then that's their own stupid fault. If I'm honest, like
they should not be shady about it. That's the problem. That's the thing. Just say that.
But is it being shady, or is it the actors that not doing their research?
It's one of those things where you lie by omission, you know.
But are they though?
Well, it's look. I'm not telling you it is. I'm not telling you it isn't. I'm not denying it, but I'm not confirming it. It's just like, well, that's lawyer speak, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, it's one of those things you could do your own due diligence to figure out that it's not.
Yeah. But that's why we don't get Superman and Lois TV series season 5 and Superman the movie in 2025 because people apparently, according to wherever, I'll be like, there's too many.
No, apparently just
IP clash or what?
No, that's the reason why I'm not getting Lois Superman anymore, because CW don't have the rights to the DC stuff anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I think they also said that they had about 7 seasons worth of stories planned.
Yeah.
And they didn't get to do that, you know. So that's yeah.
Yeah.
But look, I would like to say you can have variants of the characters.
Yeah, you can.
At the beginning of for DC it's easier because you can just have the Elseworlds logo plastered at the front of the film. And then people will be like, all right, this is not in continuity with the mainline, whatever DCU they're doing.
Yeah.
In like, 'cause different studios have different rights to different parts of the Marvel characters. They'll just have to do something similar, like in another dimension or another universe, whatever, to start it out, like at the beginning of a film, and then people know it's a separate one.
Yeah, I get that, but it's that whole thing as well. Like. Yeah. Where when people still think like Batman's in the Marvel universe, you know, it's that sort of it's.
Yeah. I know we're getting side tangents here, yeah. But I read once that every Marvel. This is when the first Green Lantern film came out, and it was Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, every Marvel film knows that Green Lantern's black. Yeah. There's 2 things wrong in one sentence there.
Yeah, so I'm saying that's always the thing that's gonna kind of hamper like common sense, people's lack of common sense, or just a quick little search. Oh, okay, this is completely different, rather than I thought this was you didn't, you just didn't do your research.
But there was parts that I have to throw a question mark on some parts of this film, and then some parts I'm like, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm here for the kind of the ride.
Yeah.
But it's a 15 rated film, and I do think it should have been a bit more kill heavy, or do you think there's the right type of violence for it?
I think it's the right type of violence, because you don't go too overboard with it, because then especially if he's doing all that, it goes overboard with him doing the killing. Like, okay, then how can you kind of root for this guy if he's just straight out just murdering everybody? So I think 15 was fine. Yeah. Do
you think they tweaked him a bit too close to, like you say, the Punisher instead of the Hunter, like the Kraven the Hunter character, or do you think they just kind of readjusted the film to be vigilante justice instead of?
I don't know. I kind of took it as like with Punisher, he's basically like he's clinically insane, basically, right? Like. Doing what he's doing, but with here, like they kind of set the seed that he didn't want to be like his father and that, and then him getting a second chance of life. Like, you know what, the strong protect the weak, sort of, and like, okay, that makes sense, and that's why he started doing what he's doing. I was like, that kind of makes sense.
Okay, so to me, before you conclude the non-spoiler part, would you recommend people to go watch this film?
If you like sort of action movies that's somewhat loose on the seriousness or how can I say, weight of the situation, so yeah, I'll recommend watching it.
I will say it's fine, but it's not exactly anything that we haven't seen before.
No.
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 And then they tried to throw some twists and turns in there, but you're like, it's kind of why? Just trying to be a bit smart for smart's sake. I don't know.
I wouldn't give it that credit. I don't think it's trying to. That's not a bad thing. Like, I just thought it wasn't trying to like, oh, look at this twist or whatever. It's like, okay, like this is.
Okay, maybe it was like, let's keep the audience on their toes.
I don't even think that.
So
I don't even feel that.
You didn't give the credit to the screenwriters for going, yeah, let's make people get the suspense up. No, you're like, it's just
it was a bit like the whole brother stuff, and his dad being a dick. But yeah, there's nothing. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think if it tried to do that, then I wouldn't like it. Something like, okay, you're trying to be something you're definitely not. Like, it's just it is what it is. A guy who hunts people.
That's fair. All right. Okay. So into. Oh, so wait. When you watched it, was there a lot of people?
No. I think it was only about same about people in yours.
Yeah, which is strange for a Friday that it come out, right?
Yeah. But I think people have already written this film off, so I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I mean, if we weren't reviewing it, would you have paid to go and watch it? Or would you have gone to the cinema at all?
Yeah, I would have gone to the cinema. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to say, even though I watched the trailers afterwards, but
I haven't bothered to watch that yet.
Yeah. I don't think I would have watched. If we weren't going to talk about it, I would have bothered to watch this film in cinema, only because it just seemed like it's a cash grab sort of film, and the Sony separate Spider Verse is. I don't have faith in it.
Nah,
because they have shown me anything that goes in their hands is money.
Yeah, Venom. That's about it.
Venom 1, 2, or 3, or all 3 of them?
All 3 of them, because they all together they made over $5 billion. So
yeah, no. Okay, when I say money, I don't mean what I mean is you put out something that's good.
Well, they were good. I enjoyed it all.
Okay.
But yeah, but I get what you mean.
To be fair, I did say that I liked Venom 2 because it was outrageous, and Venom 3 is alright as well. But...
Yeah. Even though I reckon, even though it's skipping ahead, there's no spoiler or anything to what we talked about, but kind of in a way, if the Sonyverse is dead, I reckon if they do bring any more films, it'll probably be Venom related. They're not going to try anything else, because you know what? Venom makes us money. He's kind of like Spider-Man, so he can get around that.
Yeah, even though in our movies, he's got nothing to do with Spider-Man.
No, yet, but yeah.
Which then is why is he called Venom? And then they'd be like, oh yeah, on them other planets, then the symbiotes have special names.
Yeah, because I think they tried to retcon that in the comics recently. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
I mean, he was called Venom before Eddie Brock called him Venom.
Yeah.
Centuries ago, apparently.
So, okay, cool. Right. Whatever. But yeah, spoiler now, I guess.
Yep.
How much we spoil straight away?
Oh yeah, we're gonna
kind of talk about the story.
Yeah. I mean, it's not magnificent, but
it's not magnificent. It's not terrible.
A man gets bitten by a radioactive lion. Sorry.
Yeah, kind of.
Doesn't really
kind of, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a flash forward. It starts in present day, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember it going back.
It's present day when he goes to the Russian prison.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, which I do. Okay, so, and he's the only one that stands out because he there's the camera's on him, and he looks like a movie star, of course, right? But everyone else looks like
bums.
Like we were watching Triple X, and you know how Vin Diesel's picture is the only one that's like, oh yeah, this guy, whereas everyone else just looks. I don't know, say generic or whatever.
Yeah.
Specifically, yeah. So, they're escorting prisoners to somewhere in Siberia, right?
Yeah.
And then they stop them off to have a restroom break, it seems.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they're just looking for prisoner, whatever.
Yeah. 8, 7, 9, whatever. 8, yeah, 4, whatever it is.
And they find him behind a hut, right? Even though it's snowing, he ain't got no snow on him.
No.
But that's because he's got to do that dramatic reveal when he turns around and it's Aaron Taylor Johnson, right?
But even
then later on, you were like, all right, actually, there is another reason for that, but that's something.
Yeah.
And then he gets put in the prison.
Yep.
They get all their prison garb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He steps in. I think some guy's like 7 foot plus.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make you my bitch," essentially, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "No, well, if I'm still in here in 3 days, then you can." He's like, "Okay, 3 days, sure, all right."
Yeah. All right, that's kind of. You know what? Yeah, okay. I'm not expecting him to fight or anything like that, right?
No.
But I think the guy was just so amused by. Okay. All right. I'll
take that deal.
Fine. And I think he say, "Can I take the top bunk?" And he goes, "Don't push your luck."
Yeah, and he's like, "Okay, fair enough."
Right.
And then
he's in the prison yard doing the bench press.
Yeah.
With the prison gym equipment, right? And then these two Aryan looking like
two generic Russian mob gangsters from like Grand Theft Auto 4 or something pop up.
Yeah. And when it's exactly. They're like trying to threaten him by pushing the weight down on him, and he's just like, and he starts pushing the weight up with them pushing down, like going up as well. And then they're like, okay, well they don't stop. I think, all right.
Yeah, if he can do that, what can we do? Yeah, I mean...
yeah. No. They didn't let go. They didn't run up, and they just kind of. He pushes it up, and then he splits out underneath, and then we drop, and they just kind of smack into the weights because of the sudden stop.
Yeah.
And then he gets told off.
Because, even though they try to kill him,
as you do, because in prison, right?
You're all guilty.
And then they're like, "Oh yeah, the boss wants to meet with you," and it's a Russian mob boss or whatever that's in prison there. And it's the two guys from the outside who like, "Yeah, boss, this is the guy," right? Yeah. It's like, all right, well, look, two of you tried to kill him, and he was pressing weights as well.
Yeah. So
what do you think is going to happen?
Why are you escalating this even more? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
why are you doing this?
You're probably going to die, so it's probably best for you to step outside and let your whatever happens in there happens there. At least you live, right?
Yeah, exactly. But no.
Yeah. So he sees the carpet Siberian tiger.
Yeah.
And he's like stroking the head, and they're like, "Oh, who are you? What you come here for?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm the hunter." And then he just pulls the tooth out.
Yep.
Shanks both the henchmen. Shanks the guy.
And then kills him. And then the gods kind of like, "Hey, it's taking too long for him to come back." Then they walk in and see that he's killed him. Yeah. And then he beats them up. He doesn't kill them. Beats them up. And then he escapes from the prison.
Yeah. He does these super CG jumps. Yeah. Right. But they're not super. They're not super terrible CG. It's just like inhumanly large distance. That's why I say CG jumps.
Yeah.
Right? But then he's like clawing his way across and everything like that as well, and doing some slides. I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. But realistically speaking, you do them slides, you're tearing up your thigh.
Well, he wouldn't because he's got. Whatever. Miracle. Whatever.
Well, they haven't told us at this point, right? No. Yes.
Miracle. Yeah. And
apparently he's got brave style powers because he's got the strength of the bear, speed of the puma, and whatnot. So it's like, okay, and then he's running into the snowstorm.
Yeah.
And then the wolf comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, the wolf comes out of nowhere and is like, "Do you want some of this?" And he just gives him like the look, and wolf's like, "You know what? You check your chance in the snow. I don't want none of this smoke," and then leaves him. Yeah. Then he runs into like the snow wall, whatever it is, and then he meets his partner, who we only see her once, and we hear her twice. Yeah, and then she's like, "Hey, Kraven, thanks for the job." It's like, okay. Then he takes off his t-shirt so you can see all of his abs and pectoral muscles and stuff like that.
His beautiful physique, because that's what they want to show, right?
Yeah, and I was like,
it's for the females. Don't put it that way, right? Maybe they can lure the more diverse audience by having Aaron Taylor Johnson just show off his abs.
I was like,
if you think, I mean, hey, look, sometimes sometimes we get the as the guys, we get the fan service.
Yeah, the male glade thing.
For women to get the fan service, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, cool, all right. And I was like, oh, he's putting work in the gym. That's awesome. And then, so then this is where we have the flashback. We go 16 years ago.
No, just before that, I think they find his. He had the tattoo on his neck. It starts rubbing.
Oh yeah, rubbing off.
They find.
Yeah.
Then they find a body.
Yeah, the actual
in the snow.
The guard, the prisoner he took his clothes to pretend to be. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So he was like, all right, well, that's why he wasn't covered in snow, but everyone else was. And that's why just lure someone to the back of a whatever and just shank them and then bury them in the snow and then cuff himself and then.
Yeah.
Don't think about that. Don't think about that.
He's the world's best hunter. He can do what he wants. Yeah. And then.
Yeah. Then you go 16 years ago where they show him and his his brother Dimitri, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know if it's half brother or whatever at this point. Yeah. His brother's doing voice impressions, which is probably whatever actor they have.
Yeah.
Crow.
Yeah.
Overlaying the voice on the guy.
Yeah.
It's not like, for example, they adjust the audio slightly so you can tell it's
him,
the character
but not
doing
him.
it.
Yeah.
He's just getting voice dubbed over.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Kraven's half brother.
Yeah.
Is it? Are they gonna do? Is it this particular character or not? Right?
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna have him there, and he's not gonna be that character.
Yeah. It went until later on. Like, oh, I see. Okay. And yeah, so they're at their boarding school in upstate New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wait, in London, is it?
No, it's New York.
Oh yeah. It's New York.
And then they're getting kicked. Well, the teachers got both of them, and then they're like, "Oh, what did you do this time?" And he goes, "I thought it was you." And then they go meet their dad, and they're like, "Dad, Mum never take out of school." He's like, "Your mother's dead." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. And he's real cold about how she died. I'm like, now I can see why your sons hate you.
Yeah. They're like, what happened? Suicide. She was weak. Her mind was, crumbling or whatever, right?
Yeah. And
we're going to Mum's funeral. No, we're going hunting.
Yeah. Wait, what? What?
Right.
So you had the funeral without us, and now you're taking us hunting, and you see why.
Did he even have a funeral?
Because
she did deserve one for killing him.
Yeah, I was like, exactly. So when it's I'm not skipping the far ahead or anything, but you can see, you can see why his kids don't like it. You know what I mean? You don't give him any reasons to like.
I also gotta say, I thought the person playing young Kraven, the kid, I mean, it wasn't super young. He looks like he's in his 20s, so he's probably playing the 18-year-old.
Yeah,
like that, right?
Yeah.
He had his voice is not the same as Aaron Taylor Johnson's.
No.
His voice is deeper, so he's like, hold on a second.
But this is all film, so I don't take anything too into that.
Yeah. You're not going to say, their facial features don't match, and then he's older than them. No. It's just you would have thought they could have dubbed the guy's voice to be more similar to that.
Don't do it in any films. That's the point.
Yeah, it's true.
Just take it.
Well, no. They did do it in Superman the movie where Chris Reeve dubbed over Jeff East. Okay. I'm just saying. I didn't
even know that was a thing.
You said they do a film that. I'm like, as an example, actually.
Okay. I legit didn't know that till now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then, so they go to Northern Ghana. Sorry. There's another thing in this film that I was like, this is really weird. Every time they were going to location, it was so precise where the place was, but not where the place was. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because here, the school was just outside of New York or something like that, and then it was here, Northern Ghana. And
because where they're filming. They could have stock footage or they're filming location. They're not there, and then they just it could be any part. Right?
Anywhere, yeah.
It's like for example, if I go to my local park to film something, I could say it's any park anywhere.
Because you're in London. Yeah. But just things like that just stuck out to me. I was like, that's really weird. That's right.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not there. It's not this bit yet as well. But I was going to say, this is where we see Calypso.
Yeah, no, that's a bit later. That's a bit later. No, we do see Calypso because
you're thinking of the other time. Yeah. So we see Calypso, and I was like, oh, okay. Are we going to go to the Voodoo Witch Doctor route?
Yep.
Which they kind of don't really. They just be like special herbs, and I'm
okay. I kind of get that now because
Calypso's playing with the deck, the tarot cards, and then her grandmother's like, "Oh, the cards hold power,
Yeah.
You just gotta know how to use them." She goes, "Look, flip the card over," and she gets the what was the first card? They've done that anyways, right? Because you get the last card, which has a lion and strength on it, right?
One was like a tower of fire, the middle one, but I can't remember the first one was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there'll be death, and you'll be needed. To save whoever, right?
Yeah.
You'll know at the time whenever the time is, and then she gives her a special whatever potion.
Yeah.
All right.
Use this when someone's about to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what's going.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. See what's going.
And then we go to the Kravenoffs doing their hunting.
Oh yeah. You see them they're at a campsite, and his dad's with all like these people saying, "Oh yes, hunting is for the weak, the strong, and that crap." Generic masculine rubbish. Yeah.
Russell Crowe's got an accent, and then the guy playing Rhino, but not Rhino, Alexei. Right?
Yeah.
He's also got
he's got an accent as well, and a weird haircut. Yeah.
Oh, he's got a haircut that does not fit him at all. It's like, what you alternative rocker?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. This would have been like the late 2000s. So sure.
Right. Okay. Anyways.
I've
got he's like, I've got some issue. I need your help. And then Kraven's like, so you've deliberately come to find me. You're stalking me, just like I'm stalking these bees.
Yeah.
Right? You need to get away from me because I don't have time for people like you.
Yeah, some of the week or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And like, keep that in mind. What you said about the week. Yeah.
And then he gets his son. Oh, just before that, they're talking about how Dimitri is this bastard half son, whatever, right? And then they're like, "Oh yeah, he will never take over the empire because not even full blood." And then Russell Crowe's like, "Don't. It's not the boy's fault. Don't diss him. It was me.
Yeah, my wandering
eyes.
On her. Yeah.
So he was the product of that. You're thinking, oh, it's a cool moment. Actually, the way he's saying it, just like,
it's like, okay, he's kind of,
he's trash on the side, but he's trash.
He still loves his son, sort of thing. Like, okay, but
not really.
We find out more. Yeah, and then this is when, again, then we go kind of pan over, and you see Kraven and his brother just talking in the tent about hating. He wants that his son. The brother wants his dad to respect him. He's like, don't worry about it. You don't want to be nothing like him,
Yeah.
And then he goes, always be there for you, brother. Again, foreshadowing.
Yep.
And then next day, they go on a hunt for this ancient beast. There's some lion, this huge lion called they call him Kai. Was it the Kaiser? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know, but whatever they call
it.
The Tsar.
That's
whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's it. The Tsar, because they're Russian, right?
Yeah. And it's like some huge, literally like 10-foot lion. It was like 10 foot high.
Well, the way they describe it is like, a behemoth sort of.
Yeah.
Right? But no. So they're going off to hunt it, like you're saying, and Kraven speaks to Dimitri. Oh, sorry, not Kraven. Sergei, because it's not Kraven yet.
Not Kraven yet.
He speaks to Dimitri about, what's he saying to him about?
It's like, basically saying that this life isn't really for us. We should be more like mum.
While all the guys were just in front of him, about 100 feet, and then they go that way, and he turns around to speak to his brother, and then when they turn back, when he turns back, there it is, Bizarre. In front of him. It's like, wait a minute.
It's like, whatever, cool. And him and the Tsar have a little moment because the Tsar wasn't going to attack him anything.
Yeah.
It was like having that moment. And then he goes to his brother like, stay behind me, it's going to be all right. And they look like the Tsar and Sergei look eye to eye. And it seems like he's going to go away. And then the dad shoots it. Yeah. And then it just goes insane and it attacks Sergei, starts biting the crap out of him.
Yep.
And then just drags him away.
Keys, right?
Yeah.
Drags
him away.
Yeah. Well, the dad's shot it about 3 or 4 times now, right? And
then this is where we find Calypso again with her mom and dad looking at.
They're like, Calypso, darling, have a look at the
the giraffe,
safari, whatever, the Serengeti, whatever. And I thought, oh, the dad's not gonna. They just hired this guy to play the dad. He's not gonna have any lines, right? He's just gonna be silenced there, right? So they have to pay him extra. No, he actually does call her name. I was like, okay, man's getting paid as an actor, right?
He's got his credits for that, yep. And then
But what I did find was wherever they were, it looked like, I say green screen, but you know when the background doesn't quite sync with the actors in front. I think it's also because they've got afro hair, so it's harder to green screen all the little bits and pieces. They could have been, by the way, on location.
Yeah,
but it looks to me like they weren't.
Yeah, I don't think they would have used that bit just to be on location. Like, what's the point? But yeah, they could have been. And then she hears something, and she gets off the Jeep and goes away.
Well, no, this is what I do. Her mum tells her to look, right? Look, her mum calls her a couple of times, looks back, she's gone. Yeah, there's a vast, honestly, jungle,
wide open space.
No trees or anything like that.
No,
but,
there's no bushes or anything. Like wide open land. Like you could have seen her like running off in the distance. She's not that fast.
You don't see nothing. She got teleporting abilities. I don't. No, I'm not criticizing that, by the way.
No, but
that's why the movie's bad or anything like that. But it's funny because you're like, huh? She pulled a Batman.
Yeah, in broad daylight.
Around,
in broad daylight in an open wide space. Yeah, she pulled Batman. Yeah. And then
somehow she's coming out of the trees to find Sergei getting
let down by the lion, because the lion realized he didn't want to do this, but he was under attack, so he leaves him there to.
And then the lions. She watches that the lion's blood drops into Sergei's open wound from the tooth. Yeah, from being bitten, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, okay, this is clearly significant. Yeah. So then she gets the potion, she pours it in his mouth, so he survived, and then we get a flashback to something the lion blood dripping into him from 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, just in case you missed it the first time. Yeah. So he does that, and then she's like, "Oh no, he's dying. I need to save him." So then she gives him like not the antidote, the serum, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that serum somehow magic. So it don't need to be somehow. The magic in the serum, whatever, binds his DNA with the lion's DNA plus other spiritual things that the potion can do.
If he was just got like the Phantom, right? The strength of 10 tigers, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
The proportional power of a tiger, if you want to Spider-Man it, right? I mean, lion, right? But no, he gets other mystical abilities from different animals.
Yeah, from the magical's thingamajig from the mum. I mean, not the mum, the grandma.
So what's the point of the lion blood dripping in him?
To give him the strength, I guess. Maybe everything else is all that.
By the way, I would accept it. I would accept it if she just poured a potion in him and then he got the powers of the animals. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Then you can make the logic leap of that causes that.
Yeah.
Then this lion blood thing?
It's because the eye bit in it.
No, the lion blood that drops into.
Yeah, so when like the bits where you see the lion eye sort of thing, it's that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like he's got something like. That's how I kind of saw it as. All right, so that magic formula thing brought him back to life and gave him like the fast vision and that stuff like that. But the
animalistic abilities of whatever, right?
But the lion blood gave him the strength. That's how I saw it. Yeah,
right.
That's how I saw it.
Okay.
But
so you're patching holes in this film.
Maybe, but it kind of makes more sense to be that way. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then she gets the what's it called? The helicopters to come and get him.
Yeah, helicopter like.
Wait, she was there. She just shouted. Oh no, she called
someone. Yeah. And then the helicopter came and got him. And then when he's getting airlifted, she gave him the strength card and said, "You're gonna need this."
Yeah.
And then he gets taken to a hospital and he dies for
But let me point out, by the way, that. Wherever the amount of time that it took the helicopter to get there, right? Yeah. She's still with him. Yeah. Her parents haven't found her, and his parents and all them hunters haven't found him.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that took. Could have been really quickly, but whatever. Right?
Whatever. Yeah. Still crazy. And then, so he dies for like 3 minutes, and then the formula potion finally takes effect, and then he wakes up, and the doctor's like, "Hey, what?"
Yeah. We were trying to sign him off as done and dusted.
And then it's the next day where he's lying in bed like, oh, I survived. And then doctor comes in, check on him. He goes, oh, thank you for saving my life. So I was, well, I wish I could take those praises, but I don't know. Don't know how he survived. I'm confused myself. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And then that's when the dad comes and goes, we're taking him away. He's like, he needs to be monitored for a couple days. No. I pay money, we go. I'm like, you're a terrible father. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously your son just nearly died, and like, forget the whole magic potion stuff that he don't know about, whatever. Would you move someone who was recently attacked by lions and then somehow survived? Wouldn't you, like, stay in this hospital as long as it takes, then we take you back? Not, oh, we're going to go back home.
Because man's got holes in his body.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, this is a terrible dad. Like, he's one of the people who watched his son get run over and think, oh, you can walk it off. No, he's obviously has internal bleeding. But
Which reminds me, I'm sure you've heard the story where Soraya Page, she got hit by a car when she was 13, yeah? And then the dad's like, oh, you're right. And she's like, yeah. She goes, good. We've got a show tonight. You have to wrestle. Yeah. Wow.
It's one of those things. It sounds funny, but then you think about it, that's bad parenting. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay. Yeah. So then we go back. This is where we go back to London. We go to London now. So we go from New York to northern Ghana to just outside of London. And Sergei's going through his mum's stuff because this is the first time they've been back to the house since the mum's died, and he finds a letter from her basically saying like not why she killed herself, but she's basically saying sorry for killing herself. And he's like, and then his dad starts calling him, so he thinks his dad's calling him, and then it's his brother mocking his voice. He's like, you're getting really good at that. He goes, yeah, I know, ha ha ha.
Which, by the way, I thought they were going to do something with later on in the film, but they just kind of left it.
Oh, we can explain to me later. And then this week comes down, his dad's like, we haven't spoken since your accident, let's speak. And then he tells Dimitri to go away, so it's just him and the dad and Sergei talking, and he's like, I need you to stay here, you're going to help the family business. He goes, no, but I want to go back to New York for, school. And he's like, no, you take after me. Dimitri will one. He goes to school. He's not built for this life. And then Sergei's like, I don't want this life. I know what you are. I don't like it. Yeah. And then he says like, no, you're gonna follow it because that's what men do. Men have to blah blah blah.
More just a toxic masculinity.
Yeah, right? More toxic masculinity.
Trying to say like ego and trying to knock the guy's ego and pride into taking doing the thing that he doesn't want to do because his dad wants him to do.
Yeah.
All that poisonous, abusive parenting.
Yeah. So then his dad does his dad push? Or he pushes?
No. He tells him to come this way. This way, right? And he like, I have something for you. Then he shows him the lion's head. They cut off the side where they caught him. So that's but so this man got taken away by the hospital, whatever. And you instead of going by the airplane, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And instead of going to see him or make sure he's okay, you're like, I'm gonna hunt this thing down first.
Yeah. And that's when
Kraven to him, and what he'll be all super happy to see something that traumatized him.
Yeah. And I think that's when Kraven's like, he doesn't care about me. He's more concerned about this hunt than he was me. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. So then he starts packing his stuff. He's like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going back to that farm that farm our mum had in Russia or whatever. He's leaving, and then Dimitri finds him like,
well, no. He climbs out of the house.
Yeah, he climbs out of the house.
Flips off the rooftop. And instead of going splat, he does he
lands like a cat.
Super kind of like
lands like a
super
cat.
Cool landing. And he's like, oh, I've got powers. Okay. And then he's like sneaky.
Yeah.
Exit. Except that Dimitri somehow
knew.
He just steps out the archway. Yeah. It's like, well, didn't you see Kraven drop then? Didn't you see his special powers? But maybe not. Maybe you just timed your dramatic entrance.
He's like waiting there for hours, like he's gonna be moving and coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, where you going? He's like, I'm leaving here. It's not life for me. He's like, but I'm here. Like, yeah, I know, but seems like a you problem, not me.
Yeah, that's what essentially. I'll come
Essentially,
back
that's
to
what
your
he
young
said.
brother, and he goes, "No, I don't think you will actually, because you would have stayed for me, but you don't even take me to go with you. So I don't believe you when you say that."
Yeah. So then he's like, okay, cool, and then he's like, but I won't forget you. He's like, just go. They should just go. So then Sergey goes off, and then he goes to.
Oh, by the way, it's not like he just get out of my face, go.
No.
It's just like, I wish it wasn't this way, kind of.
Yeah. It's not like animosity.
But if you gotta go, you gotta go, sort of thing. There's enough leniency there where you're like, he actually.
Yeah.
He's gonna take all the abuse from his dad by himself solo.
Yeah. Just for him.
And that's how his life's gonna be. But while his brother may not be having any of that, it's fair enough. At least one of us is okay.
Yeah, because he knew that that the dad's gonna let his brother finish school and that stuff. If he was gonna stay, he wouldn't be able to do anything like that. So, and his brother knew that. So, like, you know what, you kind of do need to go. Well, I'll, just do this. So so then he goes to finds that place where his mum used to take him, his brother when he was kids, and that becomes like his hunting ground. Well, his training ground.
Yeah,
and we see him do a bit of training. I don't know. He fights something. I can't remember. Wait. Yeah, this is where he starts doing the running stuff. Well, he learns that he can run super fast and jump high and that stuff. And then.
Oh yeah.
Then he sees
he's the stampede.
With buffalo. Was it buffalo?
Yeah.
Or elk, whatever it was. Yeah. And then he kind of
elk,
makes friends with them, and then he goes back to doing what he's doing. And this is where his superhero and vision kind of kicks in, where he climbs on a tree, then he sees a bunch of poachers killing some of the buffalo, elk, whatever they are, taking the horns, and he hears them say.
And what's nasty as well is like once the horns are removed, you see the corpses.
Yeah.
You see their brains.
Yeah. And he's like, so he hope for him say, just take the horns, leave him, like kill him, whatever. Yeah. So then this upsets him. So he gets there just after the majority of the poachers there, and he's like, "Did you do this?" And they're like, "Get away, kid! What you gonna do?" And then they're about to kill him. Then he throws a knife into one of his head.
Yeah.
And then punch up onto death. And he was like, sees the blood in his hands. He's like, "This is why I take a stand for the innocent." This is my monologue I heard in my head. And then he becomes Kraven the Hunter. He goes on these Batman
for the animals of this land, I bless myself in whatever I drench myself in your blood and become.
And that's basically like his kind of origin story. Yeah,
even though none of that actually did happen.
No,
but we will just.
That's what happened in the 16 years leading up to today. Yeah, he became the Hunter, and
just where also. Does something happen before? I think 16 years later, and there's the poaching happening again.
Yeah. The
poaching for some reason, I think there's something before this, but
I feel like there is as well. But I don't think there is.
No, do we get the scene with Alexei? There's a little scene where they talk he just establishes himself. He's got this backpack and whatever, right? And he's the mob boss, and he's like,
"You might be right.
Who is the hunter? The hunter be coming after me, or is that afterwards?"
I think that's after, because I think something happens between. No, I think he's in his. So he wakes up from when we see him drop in the bed.
Yeah.
No, that's it. He lands back in his home. Then he goes to his little sanctuary, and he goes to sleep, and then. When he wakes up, I think something happens then. That's when he sees the other poachers again.
Yeah.
And then he murders them all.
He does a little cool scene where obviously it's like, we got the poachers have done the exact same stuff. They've got their car. He's like, "Well, this is private property," because they're like, "Quick, get out of here!" And he goes,
this is private.
He's at a broken fence because they clearly broke a fence to come in, right? Gates, yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, this is private property, guys. Is that why you guys are trying to get out of here real quick?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "I ain't got time for this. Just run him over."
Yeah.
Except that.
He goes, this bit was pretty cool, where he takes off his coat and slips underneath the car, and then comes back to the other side, murders everyone in that car, and then the other poacher, the head poacher, gets away because he's from England. Yeah, gets away, and he recognizes the license plate. So then he does his. I'm guessing he calls up some people he knows and what stuff like that. I kind of guess this, and then we see it flash over to the Docklands, London.
Now, just before we get to here, it's just like, is he taking 16 years to find these poachers, or are these separate poachers?
I think separate poachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, yeah, because they don't explain whether this poaching, even though they're doing the exact same stuff, is related to that one.
I don't think it is. No.
It'd be a very bad hunt if it took him 16 years to do it.
Yeah. So then
you know what they should have, by the way, they should have poached something else, like rhino horns, or
something else,
because they've got rhino here, but
another animal. Yeah.
Like elephant ivory.
Yeah. Something like that. And then we see the guy, the poacher that was giving it the big one to Kraven, and he's like, comes in and goes, boss, we could be able to do this, but don't worry, we got the hunter. And he's like, boss, and then the chair swings around, it's Kraven with a crossbow. It's like, oh, it's nice seeing you again. He's like, how'd you get here? Where's blah blah blah? He's boss. He's like, oh, you're stepping in him. And he's like, he looks down, there's blood on the floor. He's like, oh. And then Kraven's like, so what's your name? He's like, this person. He's like, oh, you're pretty low on the totem pole. And he keeps asking the questions like, okay, you need to tell me this. He's like, oh, well, it's blah, blah, blah. And he tells him, like, oh, you can let me go. He's like, yeah, sure. And then he shoots him with a crossbow, hits the wall. Then he takes the guy, the mob boss's his ledger book was what I call the other gangsters and whatever his operations. Yeah. And then this is where, then he shuts the door and you see where he's impaled the other, the main boss onto the wall. And then we see Callisto, grown up now, and she's going to a funeral, and she's talking about a funeral of a friend who was a lead prosecutor on trying to get one of the gangs, and then they end up killing her. But
she's like, in the eulogy, she's like, we all know who did this. We all know who did this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, all that kind of stuff.
No one's gonna stand up to him because we're all a bunch of pussies. Apparently.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, you're a bunch of pussies, anyways. She doesn't say like that.
No, but that's what she was saying. That's what she was thinking.
Yeah.
You know that.
That's what she was saying, implying with her more straight-laced words.
Yeah. And then after that, she's about to walk out of the funeral ground, and then Kraven goes through, I'm sorry about your loss. And she's like, okay, thank you. Did you know her? She's like, no, but I heard that she was a good person. Like, okay. And then Callisto's like, well, this is weird. I'm going to go. And goes, and he calls her name. And Callisto's like, what? He goes, you saved my life. She's like, wait, what? And then he took out the card, the strength card. Yeah. And he's like, oh, you're here. Oh, you survived. He's like, yeah, no thanks to you. And he's like, I'll come here to kind of repay my debt in a way. It's like, okay. So then it moves over to them being on Primrose Hill.
She's asking, what, like, how do you mean pay my debt? And he's like, yeah, no, that dude that you said got her killed, I killed him. And then she's like, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
You need to.
That's something you need to keep to yourself, buddy. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm here to, make the world a better place, basically, getting rid of these bad people. I know you work for some people who are not exactly, the most, but you have connections, and, if you I give you my list, you give me your list, we can kind of, and she's like, I don't know if I agree with what you're doing, but you have some good points. Let me get back to you. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then this.
So, by the way, the safest answer that she could give.
Yeah, basically, incriminate herself. Incriminate herself.
Or because as far as she knows, he could have just turned around and shanked her. So
yeah. And so then, this is where we go into some other place in London where we see. Actually, no, this is where Alexei does his dominance thing, where they're in like a abandoned, not warehouse, but abandoned place, right? And the two cars pull up, his car pulls up, and he's like, oh, the mob boss who Kraven killed is dead. I'm gonna take his.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. See, that's the missing scene. I think there were 2 scenes, by the way, that we missed out. The bit where I was saying before, where we see Lexi for the first time.
Yeah.
Where his dog's growling at him when he has the ball, and then he kind of gives it the eye.
Oh yeah. And
lets go. And then he finds out that mob boss is dead. And he goes set a meeting up for fire his 3 most loyal whatever, right? Set up a meeting. We'll go meet them.
Yeah. So then, So this bit. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I believe we go to the club where Russell Crowe, where the Dimitri is singing, or is that later?
Yeah. No, this is that bit was talking about where he gets those 2. He tells the guys, I'm taking over, and one of you are gonna be my new lieutenant. And then they're like, nah. Then he does the thing where his skin starts he
unlatches his backpack thing from the connection in his body.
Yeah, and then he starts sewing a bit.
And the Asian looking gentleman.
Yeah.
Just be like, F this guy. He just shoots him 3 times. And all right. Well, to be fair, he's the only one of the people that were like proactively doing something.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Come on.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, and then we're in control.
Exactly, but no. So then they get shot by snipers, and then.
But first, I think Alexei gets up.
Yeah.
He undoes his shirt, so we can see the hardened rhino skin.
Yeah.
And then the bullets just kind of drop out, and then the henchmen are all like crapping themselves.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they shoot one of the 3 henchmen, but not the guy who shot Alexei. No, right?
No.
Shoot the other guy in the side. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, the sniper.
The henchman should have shot that guy.
Yeah, because he was proactive by trying to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. As in the sense that this guy's a traitor. This guy will betray you straight up.
Yeah,
right?
He didn't hesitate. No.
Yeah. So then, when it came to the 2 people left over, the Asian gentleman, the other guy, right?
Yeah.
That guy pulls and Lexi's like, well, there's only one space.
Yeah.
And that guy then turns on the other guy. But it's like, well, okay, you kind of deserve to get at that point, right?
Yeah.
I say that guy deserved to get turned on because Alexei would have killed them both.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he killed the other guy, then Alexei would kill him anyways. So his best option was just to die there. He couldn't really do anything.
Nope. So then this is where we get to the bit where we see Kravinoff's dad, Papa Kravinoff, Nikolai, and Dimitri, and he's like, oh yeah, this is my restaurant, I love this place. And my son, he sings for me, like, he sings, I can't remember Tony Belton or something, like, anyway, someone.
Whatever. And he goes, look at him, a perfect comedian, he can do any voice.
Yeah, and I was like,
all right. Exactly. I was like, okay, that's how they're going to do this guy. Cool.
Yeah, I legit didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so then he's sitting there with the guy who just became Alexei's right-hand man. Well, of that mob, anyway.
Strangely, I was confused for a second because I was like, is that Aaron Taylor Johnson? Because he's got the exact same hair, beard, thick combo, and...
Yeah. Because he looked...
Like, no, same facial features, but he's just, like, obscured by enough of that.
Yeah, because...
Because
it confused me for a while. I didn't feel it was Aaron Taylor Johnson. I thought it was a different person because in a previous scene, he didn't look... His hair was all different.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. And then I went to a minute o'clock. I was like, oh, yeah, no. And then the bit when he goes, so you're going to join me? And he's like, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. And then Nikolai is like, this is too easy. You're up to something. And then he goes, Alexei sends with guards. And then some woman walks up with like a gun in the bag and starts trying to shoot at him. And then Alexei grabs that dude, puts him in front of him. So he gets shot. Yeah, and then...
by the way, it's not that, because there's another guy that shoots him, and he's using this guy's body to block all the bullets.
Yeah, and then people just keep...
bullets? How'd you do that?
People just shooting each other from all different sides, like, okay, and then...
Like, it's different if he was ducking behind, underneath the table where there's an angle, and then you think where his body is, and you're using the other body to block it. No, he's just like, this body in front of him.
Yeah.
It's taking all the bullets. It's like...
Yep.
Yeah, but then they go through the body, whatever.
Oh, yeah, so then that mess gets cleaned up. While that's all happening, Dimitri gets scared and hides underneath the piano and starts crying. Yeah. And then once it's done, Nikolai gets up, gets a bottle of vodka, throws it on his wound because he got hit. And then Dimitri's like, "Oh, Dad, you okay?" He's like, "Oh, you're a wuss." Push him away.
Yeah. I think he said, "We'll go and get revenge on them." It's like, what do you mean we?
Yeah.
You can't even look after yourself. And he's like, "I'm attacking you right now, right? And you can't even defend yourself.
Yeah.
What do you mean we?"
Yeah. So then you're like, "Oh, that's awkward." And then then I think we go back to then before Dimitri back to his house, his penthouse that's in like Hyde Park.
Oh no! Actually, you know what? No, what we do, what we don't, right? Because you see Kraven climbing up all these. Yeah.
That's
right. And I thought, okay, and then you hear the shower on, and I was like, okay, so is he gonna walk into Calypso's building?
Yeah, and I was like, hopefully don't do this because that's just some weird
like,
80s cliche.
Because that's the sort of thing that does happen in like if it was a Bond film.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, where he's
so I was like, okay.
stepping on boundaries. Yeah,
right. Or if it was a Vin Diesel Triple X film, that the case also knows the boundaries.
Someone steps over boundaries that he shouldn't be. Yeah.
So when they're in the shower, and he's just like hiding behind the shower. I'm like, okay, is she gonna step out with a towel? Like tied up, right? No, Dimitri steps out. I'm like, oh, you got me.
Yeah, good. You got me. Good. I respect that. Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, brother, you're here." He goes, "Yeah, of course I want to miss your birthday, because I think it's the annual thing they do. Because that's how I felt. Like they do this annually. They see each other.
Yeah. I will say, by the way, Dimitri's young actor and Dimitri's old actor body type are similar.
Yeah.
Right. Kraven, Sergey. Wow, there's a massive difference. Boy's been pumping iron.
Storage, don't you? And then. So then he's like, "Oh, we're going to go out for my birthday because it's my birthday." I was like, "Oh, I don't like doing that. We could just stay in, Netflix." He's like, No. When it's your birthday, we do what you want to do. But when it's my birthday, we go out, we celebrate." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, but I've got nothing to wear because just come in the clothes."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Don't worry, I got a blazer for you.
Yeah.
It's too big for me."
Yeah, okay.
Right. Okay. Well, you just bought your brother clothes and you just pretend.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
Too big, you would just return it, right? But it's okay. It's okay.
That's what I got. I was like, "Oh, he's done this before."
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you can say because he met him once a year, he knows enough of them.
Yeah.
To get him whatever.
So I feel like it's something, even though it's probably never said, like this has happened years before, and he's kind of like learned from mistakes. Like, okay, I'm gonna have this here, so when he does come, he's got no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, that stuff, by the way, you didn't need to interpret to me in the film. Like, I got.
Yeah, you got it.
One of those things where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
He's pretending, but realistically,
Yeah. So then they go back to the restaurant, and this bit was quite funny when they're walking into it, and then they're walking past a couple coming out, and he's like, "Nice perfume." To the woman coming out, so, "Oh, I don't wear any." And then the guy looks at him and was like, "No," and he's like, Graham's like, "Well, she's gonna find out anyway." And he walks off, and then she's like,
bro.
"What?" Yeah.
And then she walks up to that guy,
smacks him, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be. For a second there, I thought he was gonna say, "Oh, it's my perfume." Like the Kraven's actually been sniffing him, and then give him a wink. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, could have been
either way.
There, but...
I was like, "Oh, he's not." And then so they go into the restaurant, and they're still kind of like cleaning up from what happened, because I've literally happened the day before. So they're still cleaning up for it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, so we're gonna have a nice meal." So they're sitting down talking, eating, and he's like, "Oh, I want Dad to respect me." Dimitri says this, and Kramer's like, "You don't want him to respect you. Why do you want that man to respect you? You know what he is. He's just a thug,
Yeah.
You're better than this. You're the better one of us." It's like, "No, but he respects you." He goes, "Yeah, but I don't want his respect." Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, fair enough. Then they're just talking about their lives and stuff, and then this when Nikolai comes in, you're like, "Oh, both my sons are here, the birthday," and then Kramer's like, "Oh, God, it's him."
By the way, we're gonna rewind because we completely missed the scene.
What scene?
I think Kraven was. I think just before he goes to London.
Yeah.
He's catching some salmon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But the phone call. Yeah,
and then he gets a phone call from his brother. He gets a phone call. Nikolai's voice. "Oh, son, I've missed you. Please come back. We forgive and forget."
Yeah.
And then his brother voice come on. He's like, did I catch you? Because Dad would never apologize.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good on them. Yeah. So then they talk. So we're going flashing back, forward. Yeah, forward, yeah. And then they're at the restaurant, and you can tell Kraven he doesn't want to be there anymore. Like his body language is just like, gotta put up with this.
I want to talk about this jabroni dad that we have.
And it's his dad just being like so like bravado, like blah blah blah. I'm the guest, and Kraven's like, nah, dude, you suck. Basically, it's like, no, you just say that you come back to family and all that rubbish, and then something happened. I can't remember exactly what he says. And Kraven's like, this party's sort of done, let's go. And his dad like, so you don't even give your father a hug? Because it's not even a handshake.
Well, he said, I don't expect a hug, but I do, but...
At least a handshake or something, isn't
it? I do expect a handshake, but not in that demanding way. I don't know what he used. He didn't use the word expect.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like, as a meet in the middle thing, a handshake is...
Yeah. So then,
adequate or something like that, right?
Yeah,
can't remember exactly. But I was like, okay, you know what? That is he's not like reaching out for another punch. He knows exactly kind of where he's standing at this point.
Yeah. So then, after that, we kind of skip to Kraven bringing Dimitri back into his house, and he's like drunk, and he's like, "Brother, we should do this more often." He's like, "Yeah, I suppose. I'm gonna sleep on the couch." So then he puts him to bed, and he starts trying to sleep on the couch, but being in confined spaces, I guess, or being around like his family.
The city is too quiet to him. He's more of an outdoors guy.
Yeah. So he takes off his shoes, and then he goes and lies in. He goes to sleep in Hyde Park.
Yeah. Essentially,
with his shoes off, and he gets up, and then you realize, I should really go back to see my brother. So then he goes into the building.
Wait. We missed a scene here where Alexei gets the USB stick that identifies Kraven as the hunter.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then this bit. I think that's when this bit happens, anyways.
Yeah.
Where he goes back. He's enhanced hearing. No. He goes in the lift.
Yeah. The lift
he goes to the lift. He goes, hold the lift, and then the guy in the lift is blanking and blatantly. Right?
Yeah.
So he throws the knife, and I thought he was going to throw the knife, and it was going to close out the doors.
Yeah.
And keep it open, right?
Yeah.
No, throws the knife, and it hits the one of the buttons on it, right? So he keeps the lift where it was.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, "Oh yeah,
I was gonna,
sorry, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna keep the door open. He's like, "No, you wasn't." He's like, "No, you weren't." It's like, "Oh,
yeah."
Okay.
And then when they ask him a question about what he does, he goes, "Oh, I hunt."
No, he's just standing. Oh, by the way, because the guy just standing there. He goes, "Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is my knife, my work knife. I do. I'm a hunter. Yeah." He goes, okay. What do you hunt? He's, yeah, people. And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." And it kind of ends there.
People like you.
Yeah.
And then,
he goes, only joking. And he goes to the knife. And then that's when he goes into the his brother's apartment and sees that it's been ransacked. He's like, wait, what? So then he runs into his brother's room and sees his brother's not in the bed, but there's blood there. And then
and then he looks out the window and he sees his brother getting shoved into a van.
Yeah. So then
he just bursts out the window.
I actually like it how he got out there. He just burst out the window, kind of like grabbed. He's like, oh, look cool. Then he's just started chasing this thing from like Hyde Park all the way to like
the docks.
No, but like St. Paul's around there. I was like, that's quite.
It's a decently cool chase as well.
Yeah. And when he catches up with him and they're like trying to shake him off, and he's getting like, no, I'm stuck on this. And there's a big
kind of.
The guy tries to, because he gets on the roof of the car, there's a sunroof, and he tries to shoot up, and then the bullets bounce back, and the guy's like, the bulletproof windows inside and outside, you idiots. Like, why would you think this would be a clever idea? Yeah.
And they crash. So he's on the side, and they crash into it. Like they side scrape a taxi to knock him off.
Yeah.
Which is fine, right? And by the time they're in a helicopter at the docks going up, and he's still he appears there now, right?
He T2000s it, yeah. He gets there, and then he throws a net on the. What is bits called?
I don't know.
Whatever, yeah. The landing bits of a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then he starts pulling it, and they're like, this isn't going to end well for us. So then he starts shooting him, so he kind of lets go, but then the net gets caught on one of the anchors, and they somehow manage to get off it. So then Kraven catches it, and then while the helicopter's flying off, it's like basically dragging him through the water, and he's still holding on. Until...
there's another bit where he gets a spear.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Pole. Yeah, he pulls the pole out of nowhere. They break something.
Yeah, break some rhubarb or something like that.
And as they're trying to shoot the netting to separate it so they can fly off, he throws the pole and it javelins through one of the guys outside the other side of the helicopter because both doors are open.
Yeah. So then so that happens. Then he catches the net again, and it's trying to fly, but he's underwater. And then like, we're not getting rid of this guy. And then luckily for them, he gets hit by one of those big buoy things. Yeah. So he has to let go, and then the helicopter flies off, and he's like, I get you.
Yeah.
So then...
Then his super wet self just come out of the water, just dumping into Calypso's work building, right? Yeah. The security guard's like, can I help you, sir? Or can my boy, Mr. Taser, help you, right? And Kraven's like...
You could try.
you ain't want none of this.
Yeah. And then that's when Callisto kind of sees it, like, oh no, he's one of my clients, come with me. Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, I'm a client. And then they go up and then into her office, and then he basically tells her what happened, like, you know, they took my brother, can you help me find who it is? She's like, maybe, you know, I got people who maybe find out who could have done it, blah 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 blah. Yeah. And then he goes to see his dad. His dad like, yeah, they took your brother. Well, they want $20 million. He's like, oh, are you gonna pay him? He's like, oh, no, if I pay them, then I show him weak. He's like, bro,
look what they've done to my son. They
cut his finger. Yeah. And he's like, you know, they show
with the ring on it, right?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, they show them weakness, then they all confused. Like, but this is your son. He goes, but I have built empire. So then Kraven gets angry with him. Then his dad tries to step to Kraven. I think it was a punch Kraven. Kraven grabs his arm. He's like, no. And that's when his dad's like, oh, the son has become the man. And then Callisto, we see Callisto on the phone.
Yeah.
And she's going to meet a lead about where to, you know, find where they took Dimitri. And he's like, okay, cool, hold tight. I'm going to do something. For what he does, but then
verify the information. I don't know, right? But then I think he then calls Alexei.
Yeah.
And and then Alexei's like, oh yeah, plan's going to according to exactly how it should be. And then he's talking about how to Dimitri, look, what your dad will blah 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 whatever.
Yeah,
it's not going to pay the ransom. And then, but look, we're all right. He's feeding him some like steak or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, and look. And then he's unscrewing his thing while Dimitri's watching. He's like, oh, yeah, I have to have these feed bags. And he takes the back off his paw. Like, oh, yeah, I went to Dr. Miles Warren.
You know.
Okay, here we go.
Like, oh, the jackal. Yeah.
I was like, okay. And he goes, yeah, Miles Warren who helped me because your father decided not to help me.
Yeah, and I remember him calling me weak. So I was like, I'm not weak
so now
no
I'm
more.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he starts doing his, you know, his skin's getting like hardened like a rhino skin.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know, flexing his hand or something. And then he's like, yeah, I think he's just like, oh, yeah, it's an intimidation tactic because he just leaves it on longer than he needs to.
Yeah.
And then when he plugs it back in, it's like, oh.
Yeah. He goes, you could be my partner.
He's like Bane with his venom, right?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, you know, you could be my partner. We can work together, you know. And then Dimitri's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So then he's like, cool, fair enough. And then he lets Dimitri carry on eating or whatever. Then he puts the gun in his back of his head like he's going to kill him. But then Alexei's second right-hand man comes in and goes, oh, boss, he's here. Like, ooh, who's here?
Oh. No. There's another.
As well. Yeah.
There's a bit we also skipped.
Yeah.
Because, well, actually, no, from this point, actually, what was it? There's, so when we first see the foreigner.
Yeah.
In the Russian prison, because he's finding the evidence of Kraven escaping.
Yeah.
And then when Calypso's CI or whatever gave her the information, right?
Yeah.
The foreigner's there as well. Did you hand her the information?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah. And then I think, did he try to pull a gun on him as well?
No.
When he was at Russian prison, like the guard tried to pull a gun in.
Yeah, this guy just didn't put a gun on him. He just killed him anyway.
Yeah. So apparently the foreigner here has the powers like Hit does in Dragon Ball Super, where he can freeze time.
Yeah, but he has to look at you to freeze. Yeah.
I guess it's a hypnotic freeze, right? Because he's got sunglasses on all the time. So it's not actually a time skip.
No.
But then how did you get two people at once with it? You know, two people. Anyways,
unless they're both in his direct. I don't know. Unless they have to look at his eyes, but they
don't establish anything.
It doesn't matter anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as peripheral vision, whatever, right? Look, he didn't freeze time, even though it looks like he freezes time.
Yeah.
So when you're saying, "Oh, he's here," right? And we're just assuming it's Kraven come to look for his brother, right? No, they open the lift opens, and it's the foreigner. He's got his glasses down, and all these guys got four of the Lexus guys have the henchmen have their guns pulled. Yeah. And the foreigner just counts down 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, right? Yeah. And then just walks past all of them. Yeah, and gets to and then takes the gun from the lead guy. Yeah. And turns it around in his hands, right? And they continues walking. And then he's behind Dimitri eating Dimitri's food. Yeah. And he's like, oh, and then I thought, by the way, they were just going to instantly trying to start shooting where the foreigner was. So that's what I thought. Lead henchman was going to shoot himself in the face. That's what I thought. And I was like, they wouldn't do that. No. It's too early. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's too early for them to do that. Yeah, and the foreigner's like, yeah, I'm looking for this Kraven guy. I want to kill him as well. So, you know what? Let's all just band together, right? Yeah. And then it's like, yeah, sure, we can do that. You know? Yeah. So then Calypso let me go back to Calypso telling Kraven that it's the guy you're looking for. He's a Turkish national, and he's staying at this place in Turkey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So then Turkey side quest. Yeah. So Kraven's like, cool, all right, I'll do that. But you make your way to the airport or something because people are after you, and she sees them. Like, yeah, they're after me. So yeah, make your way to this place and you'll be fine. So then we arrive at Turkey in this mountain building. We see Kraven climbing up the wall. Yeah. And he does the super stealth tactic where the guards cross paths, and so he follows the one set of guards, and then somehow he just sneaks behind them. Yeah, that was. And even when they're looking around back and forth, he turns at the same time as them. Stays out their vision and stuff like that. Even though he's right behind them, right? Yeah. And sometimes when you can feel someone. No, apparently you cannot feel Kraven that close to you. No. But I thought how they did that was quite good. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. He's mocking their movements, so he knows exactly he's out of their sight of vision and stuff like that. Yeah. So then he follows them up, and then he beats up a lot of them. Then he's about to kill the main guy. Yeah. And then he finds out it's actually a trap. And he looks over to the far distance and sees these two people with rocket launchers, and they blow up the mountain base they're in. And but just before it blows up, Kraven jumps out holding the guy. And then they kind of tumble down into a ravine. And before the guy dies, Kraven's like, tell me where my brother is. He goes, I can't. We're both dead. And he turns around and you see boulders come down, and then Kraven tries to cover him and the guy. Yeah. And then they get engulfed in all these rubbles and stuff. Yeah. And then this is where Alexei and that think Kraven's dead. So he sends his men after him, and they're like, oh yeah, we found Kraven's body, but it's actually other guy's body. And Kraven kills the wandering guards around where the retrieval site. Yeah. And where are we? What happens after that? I remember how we get to the end bit. I think he just basically calls Alexei, say, I'm coming after you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. He finds out it's Alexei. Yeah. So then, well, I think was one of the guys was recording is saying, "Oh yeah, doing a vlog of the finding Kraven's body, apparently." But it's not Kraven, because the famous hunter now, look at him there, dead underneath all this rubble, his arms just flopping about there. No, shanked. Yeah. So you see, I'm coming for you. So then they find out where Kraven lives. Yeah. Or something. Yeah. So then
we'll see Callisto make her way to where Kraven lives, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be helping you from here on out." So it's not what she said, but it's basically like, yeah, you know, we come to the last.
I think they were saying about how so they were trying to work out what Kraven would be, and Dimitri they were going to talk to him or something like that, and he basically said that Kraven must be over here where my mum used to live.
Yeah. And then so Kraven shows Callisto around his place, and she sees all his weapons and stuff.
Yeah, she presses the button, all these weapons compartments drop and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then Kraven's like, "So."
Oh, well, this is where as well as they go into to his special, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
his base. Get attacked by a Siberian tiger.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen her since she was a cub." Like, it's like everyday thing for you.
Well, he's got claw marks down his bicep, and then when they go back to after Calypso's having a hot chocolate, whatever it is she's having, right?
Yeah.
And Aaron Taylor Johnson reappears, yeah. All of a sudden, those claw marks are gone. I'm like, all right, he's got a healing factor as well, then, I guess.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, so then he's like, "Yeah, by the way, that thing you gave me to save my life, do you have any more of it?" She's like, "Nah, I'm afraid my grand died. With her, with her, the like potion thing is gone." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But if he wants to make any more, it's like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Exactly. And I think this is where the foreigner's got his gun.
Yeah, and he's telling
with the scarecrow neurotoxin. Right?
Yeah, basically telling Alexei about this gun I specially designed to kill him because
First of all, I was thinking, how is the foreigner going to get defeated if he can do these wacky things? Yeah, and then I thought Alexei would take the gun because he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a look at it," and then he'll shoot the foreigner with it.
That's what I thought.
Because the foreigner's going to turn on him at some point. Yeah, so just eliminate him now, right?
Because just how he looked at him, he's like, "Oh, can I see it?" And he gave it to him. And he's like, look at like. Foreigner's next to him, right? But he's looking out the window, just playing the gun and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, he's gonna go bang.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, "Oh, this is very beautiful, blah blah. Hopefully, he gets to use it," and then just gives it back the same way. He still look at the window and just goes like that. I'm like, okay, this guy is very weird.
Yeah.
So then we gear up for the final battle, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this is
That's how I remember how they find them. The neurotoxin so when Kraven was going to
he was
using the tranquilizers or whatever, the poison to kill the people, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then the foreigner worked out this in a specific part of the world.
Yeah, in Western Russia or whatever it was. Yeah.
And then when they're coming for Kraven, he's ready to ambush them back, right?
Yeah.
And Dimitri runs off, and this is where he lures them to where Kraven's base is.
Yeah.
They're like, well, he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
So, we'll follow him in that certain direction. But then, the whole bunch of people get killed by the Siberian tiger.
Yeah, and then just before this as well, Callisto sees one of Kraven's crossbows. Oh yeah, I used to do his bows. Oh yeah, I used to do archery in school. Foreshadowing. Yeah. And flashing back. Yeah, so then
and then Calypso also wearing a I don't know. Were you going to say like a armored garb? Not really, because it's very similar to what Wasp wears in the Ultimates.
Yeah. Like her tech, her battle arm, not battle arm.
No, because she got exposed arms, so it makes sense.
But either way, so she's wearing that, and then Kraven starts hunting the hunters.
Yeah.
A lot of them fall into their own traps and stuff like that. Because he kills one brutally with like
style, right?
Yeah, like the bear traps and stuff. He starts killing a lot of them. Like, oh, this is quite.
Yeah. Oh, so he finds the bear traps. He gets, I think, forces some of them to step in the bear traps. But he gets a bear trap and he slams it over a guy's head. Like actually,
snaps. Yeah, like oh, that's
it bites across his head. And then I think there's some other guys that fall into other traps that like the logs that have spikes in it. But there was the one guy who got his feet caught in the bear traps, right? And it was on a pulley system. And then there was a tree trunk that has like a triangle in the middle. And he got pulled right into that, split in half. I was like, wow, that's...
like, ooh.
Yeah.
he's a mean hunter. He just Kraven is.
Yeah.
So then after all that, so he's defeated them, and then he encounters the foreigner.
Yeah, well, no, he gets shot by the toxin.
Yeah.
And then he's like, then the spiders come, and I was like, is this how we get the Spider-Man reference? But no, apparently his mum, like he's seen the flash forward of his mum in the psych ward. Afraid of spiders climbing on the walls, and that's why she's okay, fine, right? Yeah. But how do you don't know that? So why is that related to, like, unless they never showed it in the past, right? They never showed any reference. Right? Somehow it's like Kraven's got a magical mystic link with his mum.
Yeah, which probably wouldn't have been would have been explored in Kraven 2, Kraven time, but
yeah. Or in a letter to Kraven that she wrote, she's like, "Oh, I fear the spiders are going to come to get me. At least then,
something written,
or whatever, right?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh," and he pulls out the toxin, then Foreigner just shoots him with another one, and another one, and it's like, "Yeah, you're a big bad Kraven the Hunter, man. I thought you'd be much tougher." And I thought they were going to have a battle, because then it was like, I'm not going to say it's going to go Kaioken Super Saiyan 2 Blue. They can outwork the time skip, But I was like, oh, how's he going to... Because he's just throwing punches. Obviously, neurotoxins as well, so he can't hit nothing. I was like, oh, how's he going to get out of this?
Yeah.
And then the Foreigner as well. You look at the size difference, by the way, right?
Yeah.
And like, look at the big muscles on Kraven, and look at the Foreigner. It's just like...
Yeah, I don't know how this
average looking dude.
Yeah, how this is a even thing. Yeah, so then... The Kraven starts like kind of spazzing. Like they go, once you get to your spinal column, whatever, you start like getting paralytic.
Yeah, and the Foreigner has a gun over Kraven, and then the Alex's minions, henchmen, come over, and he goes, "Don't worry about this guy. He's dead. You guys just head back to Alex." You're like, "No, hold on a second."
Yeah, this guy's the hunter. You know what I mean? Like
you need to kill him first, right?
Yeah.
So we know he's dead.
Yeah, rather than
don't send us away. Or if you die, if you something happens to you. So he had to come back, right? Then we're here to shoot him down. Don't send us away. No. But they're like, no, we get you. Okay, Foreigner, you the man. We're just gonna head back.
Yeah, like you got this. We think. Yeah.
And then as he turns back to Kraven, he gets a crossbow. He gets an arrow right into his eye.
Yeah, and it's from Callisto. She comes to save the day.
Yeah. She comes to pour some more of that serum that she
miracle
made, even though she, she said she didn't.
Yeah.
All right.
She's like, oh. That's strangely convenient.
The serum into Kraven. So what does he get? Double the powers?
Yeah. He becomes even Kravener.
So then he resurrects himself from the dead, while the henchmen are like, "Oh yeah, Foreigner just killed him," and I think Alex like. Did he even bother asking where's the body or anything like that? No,
because he's had a gunshot. Like, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, they drive off. They start driving off. Right? Yeah. They're like, I take your word for it.
Yeah.
Where's the Foreigner? But we don't care. Whatever. Right? And then as they're driving back to the airport or wherever they're going.
Yeah. Somewhere.
He hears the stampede coming from the side, even though no one else is reacting to anything, right?
Nope.
Alexi somehow through the glass or the window, wherever, he's like, oh no. And he unlatches his backpack. That keeps his Rhino form at bay, and all the cars get knocked over by all the elks or whatever, the bisons,
whatever animals
they are, and everyone's getting mauled and whatnot, and then full on Alexi, full on Rhino's like and Kraven appears and like boy.
Yeah,
come to fight with my blade. Yeah, like, oh, okay, come to shank you.
Yep, and then they do nothing. They do nothing. And even he's like, "Oh wow, did I think this one through?"
I tell you what's also funny as well. It's like the Rhino top half is beefed up, but man skipped leg day because his legs, he's like normal size legs. I know they probably don't want him to burst through his trousers, whatever. But you could just, if he does it, he could just be like. In the Fantastic Four 2015 movie where the Thing doesn't have a thing.
Yeah, just do that. Yeah, that's what they could have done. Yeah.
The Rhino's just skin, hardened skin all around.
Yeah, or he just has like stretchy pants, whatever, innit?
Yeah. The crotch section doesn't split.
Yeah. And that, he's just getting taken for an idiot by the Rhino, just like throwing him about and everything. Like,
and it was like he's getting hits, and look, Rhino's not exactly the most mobile of individuals, but all he needs to take is that one hit, and every time he hits Kraven goes flying into the car.
Yeah.
And then Kraven's like, "Oh, my life bar's depleted."
Yeah, he's like, this is. Oh, I don't have any continues. Oh, also, we've got to mention though, like when Kraven's on Callisto, he's like, nothing can hurt me. I'm this, blah, blah. I'm fast, I'm strong. No one on this earth sort of can touch me until he's like, meets Rhino's like, oh, I was being cocky. This dude is ruining my life. Wow. Yeah, so he just sort of throwing about.
And then he's got his knives. He's trying to shank Rhino in the face while he's Rhino's got him with the goozle. Yeah. He's got the pipes from the car that he hit into and stuff like that. And while he's in the choke slam like being held up, he sees the opening where the backpack was, and then he just shoves the foot-long bar into it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh.
Well, I'm like, shouldn't have just destroyed all your internal organs, Rhino. But I mean, Rhino throws it to the side. He pulls it out, and like, wow, that was deep in there.
Because like, not just like cling. It's like literally like had to yank it out. Like, that went pretty far.
And then he gets the wires from the metal rope.
Yeah.
Essentially. I don't know what it was. What contraption was it?
I think it was like a tow rope for towing cars and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the steel cable, right?
Yeah.
I guess. And he starts wrapping it around Rhino, like doing all the slits and slides to dodge, and so you can just loop it around him a good couple of times.
Yeah.
And then what's he do? Oh, hold on. What I found funny was the first time we saw Rhino, like when they're on the cars with all the bisons, right? On top of the cars, and Kraven does a running double drop kick.
Yeah.
And it sends Rhino flying off the cars, and then later on he does a standing drop kick, and the Rhino doesn't sell it. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Because he had the velocity of the cars. That's why before.
Maybe. All right, well,
science.
Okay, if you say so. But
I don't know.
I will say personally, Rhino just wasn't fully formed.
Yeah, that would make more sense. He was like still,
Yeah.
But
then he drop kicks him into the. Did he drop kick him into the bisons, or has he knock him over?
I know. I think he I know one of the cords for the rope, the steel cable, gets caught in one of the bisons, and that's why I think it.
Oh yeah. He kind of lassos it around. And that one pulls him into the other the stampede.
Yeah, he gets like stampede to hell. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, but as being the Rhino, I thought he was going to survive that. And then Kraven, take him down man to man. It's just like, you're battered enough, your skin's been softened, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can now impact shots can finish you.
Yeah.
But no, just gets stamped into the ground.
Which I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like dying out. Like, he goes, "How did you find out who I was?" He goes, "Isn't it obvious?" And Kraven's like, "Wait, what?" Oh, and then Dimitri comes over and goes, "We need to kill him." He's like, No, we don't do this. You don't do this. If anything, I would do it, but I'm not going to do it. But, But he done this to our family. He goes, no, you're better than this. Don't do it. So then Rhino dies, obviously, from his wounds. And then it flashes forwards a couple of days.
Yeah.
Where we see Nikolai hunting, in a campsite on his own, which is weird as it is.
Yeah. So, unless you're going to say Kraven killed all the other people that in the
maybe. But I don't know if he would.
Beefing on other people for no reason.
Yeah.
Why would he by himself as well? So it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Unless he was, I know. I just thought he was hiding on purpose because he knew that Kraven. Yeah.
Well, no, but then you explain the bit, and then I'll say afterwards.
All right. So then
you do the scene.
All right. So Nikolai's in his tent and he's sleeping. Then he gets up and then he goes out of the tent with his gun. Then he sees Kraven sitting on the seat and he's like, "Oh, my son, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here. I survived." I know. Why'd you give Alexei that document that says it was me? He's like, "Well, I knew that I couldn't do anything, but you could, you could save your brother and I couldn't. And he's like, oh, and plus you got rid of all my competition, so yay. And Kraven was like, oh, you son of a gun. You tried to use me, but nah, I don't care about any of that, I'm not you, you're a terrible person. And you would have put your son, my brother's life on the line for your stupid company, your enterprise, I'm done. And he goes, oh, by the way, there's a bear. Sort of thing. He's also goes, by the way, there's a bear. And then Nikolai's like, oh. Then he gets his shotgun and he's like, oh, there's no bullets. And then you see Kraven, while he's walking away, he just dropped all the shotgun bullets. So then Nikolai tries to reload the shotgun, but by that time the bear's already got him and mauled him.
So I thought that he was there, like the hunting the tiger at the lion at the beginning. He's hunting a bear.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, just. Yeah. I thought that, and plus to he actually. So did he think? Do you think he didn't think Kraven would figure out that he was basically used to do what?
Yeah, well, he probably didn't think at that point he'd catch him in over there where he's trying to hunt a bear.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
and then he probably didn't think that Kraven would leave him to die either. But
yeah.
Look, man, if you're gonna be that abusive, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he's kind of lucky his son didn't kill him, but in a way, the bear killing him first. But,
yeah.
It's the whole Batman Begins thing. I don't have to save. I won't kill you, but I won't save you, boy. Yeah.
So then, I don't know if it's the next year or whatever at this point, but see Dimitri. No, it's not the next year, is it?
It's a couple of months later, but it's not next year. No.
He sees Dimitri again. It's like, oh yeah.
Now Dad's dead. We can spend more time.
Rebuilt. Yeah.
He's like basically like, now Dad's dead. We can spend more time together. So that's how it kind of came up to me. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh,
I rebuilt the club. I with the connections, and then one of these mob guys come over to him to shake his hand and stuff. And Kraven's like, we don't do deals with them people.
Yeah,
we're out of it, right?
Yeah. He goes, who's?
He goes, well, actually, yeah, exactly. Who's we? He's like, you know what? They said I was weak, but I ain't weak no more.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? Dad said I was a chameleon, so I blended in, right? And then, I decided to change my mind. I'll become one of them.
Yeah.
And then he just puts his coat on, and he just.
Oh, you forgot to mention. He goes, oh yeah. Also, before he does this a bit, like he's like, oh yeah. Went to see a doctor in New York. Very, very weird guy. Yeah, and he helped me a lot. Made me realize things. Like,
yeah.
Miles Warren again. Oh.
Yeah, because he walks off, right? And then Kraven's like, Dimitri, right? When you do it, he grabs him and he spins him around, right?
Yeah, and it's him, but short. Yeah.
It's his head on Dimitri's body, and the proportions are so off key.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah. And even he was like, this is weird.
yeah. So then Dimitri turns back, and he actually goes to the 60s chameleon face, which is like a blank thingy-jig.
Yeah.
And then he shuffles back into normal Dimitri face and goes, I've got these special abilities now. I'm like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then that was it. No,
Yeah.
that wasn't it. No. Then we go.
No, he goes, Father, you can leave me alone now because I didn't need your help, Noble. But Dad has left you something back in the house.
Yeah, that was it. And then Kraven goes back to the house and gets a letter from his dad saying, basically, son, you're better than me. So here's this jacket from the the tiger, lion, I kill. And now this is yours. And then he puts it on, and then you can see he's like, I'm happy about this, but also sad. And he just sits in the chair, showing off his abs and everything. And
yeah. The poster shot, right?
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a man conflicted. And then that's how it ends.
I have to say, that's how the movie ends. No end credits on that.
Yeah, no, I actually waited and I realized I had to Google that. No credits. Oh, okay. It was a waste of time.
Yeah. But I thought his gear looks good. Like Aaron Taylor Johnson's stuff. His Kraven, like not fully formed Kraven stuff.
That looks good. Yeah.
Undersuit, it looks good. The lion jacket, I was like, okay, but then I thought maybe he wears undersuit underneath it and straight up. No, man's just there flexing his
showing all,
so he can do the
abs.
Bodybuilding pose where he crunched the abs on top of on the front of the magazines and stuff like that. Yep. Okay.
I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fun guy.
Oh, by the way, they had an advert in front of this, right?
Yeah.
for the Giorgio Armani perfume, the perfume,
Yeah.
and it had Aaron Taylor Johnson semi-naked jumping off the waterfall thing. It's like, all right, well, you know, I mean, okay.
Hey,
yeah,
man.
looking like Kraven, just all right, okay, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Why? Well, you know, yeah, man's making his money.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Can't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I mean, I was not amazed on by this film. Standard action film.
Like,
nothing special.
That's why I think it's all. That's why I think it's all right. It's just, it's.
Go on.
Like I was saying, it's not offensive or anything. It's like an action film, so it's like, okay, cool. It's not trying to be like a think piece or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, you know, this guy Kraven.
I thought, it's cool that they worked Dimitri in.
Yeah.
As chameleon.
Yeah.
But then when they got to the bit where he actually did the chameleon face, I was like, see, who's that for, really? Other than the people that know, but then the people watching the film who don't know,
like
they'd be like, huh?
See, the thing like with that, especially, like, okay, it's setting up for a sequel, right? But they obviously, from what's come out the last couple of days, they're not gonna do any more Sonyverse films, whatever. It's like, it's something you can't cut out now, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's there, but then it's not leading to anything. So it's kind of that weird, like you said, like Easter egg for people who know, but then for people who don't know, there's no point in actually trying to find out now, because it's not going to lead to anything, is it? Yeah.
I would have just left him as the chameleon in like verbal impression sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's like nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah, same. Like if you knew it's gonna be, I reckon if you knew it's gonna be like one and done, I would have done, like you said, like the whole just visual, not visual, like the vocal one, like, yeah, a comedian. But
would you have Kraven the Hunter versus Morbius?
Yes, and Morbius should kill him in like 2 minutes, because Kraven should kill Morbius like straight away, because Morbius is pointless.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, do you think that they starring Man and Web as well? All right, just for the lols in there.
Well, is it Man and Web and the Web Warriors? Then maybe.
Yeah. So Kraven versus Morbius, featuring the Web Warriors.
I'll watch that. It'll be better than Batman vs Superman. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll just look, man. As the final, like, we just throw it all together. Whatever final film, if this is the last one, just grab everyone.
That's what they should. That's what they should do. Just like, you know what? Let's go out and blaze glory, and just make. It doesn't need to make sense. Let's just waste money. People will see it because it's gonna be a train wreck, and they pretty would. You know.
It'll be like the Grudge versus the Ring. Levels of silliness.
Silliness, and to this day, people still asking, why was that made?
Yeah.
Who is this made for? I don't know. That's what I need to do. Oh.
Yeah. Look. Look, if I wasn't reviewing this, I think the best and the worst thing I could say is, if I wasn't reviewing it, I wouldn't have bothered paying to watch it. That's essentially it.
Because it's a comic book film, I would.
Yeah.
Right, and because, like, for example, I would pay to see this over, say, Jonah Hex. You know.
Wow.
Because, like, I would probably say, like, Jonah Hex is probably one of the worst film, like, not even just comic book film, but probably one of the worst films I've seen in my life.
Wow.
And
I've seen it once. I can't record it offhand.
That's what we need to see once.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to see Josh Brolin or Megan Fox ask about a film, they're like, I'm never in that film. That's how bad it was. Like, you know, it's been till I literally mentioned it now, I forgot about that film.
But you know what? The only thing I'd watch that film for is to see how Megan Fox looks then versus now, because there's a whole difference in the amount of physical changes. Is the best way I'm going to put it, right? Without making it look like I'm going to verbally smack down her. There's a lot of yeah.
I don't think there's not much different from her now. There was a weird bit where she looked kind of like weird, but now she looks alright. But then, like, she's my age.
You know what? She's got a new film where she plays a automaton, kind of. Which she kind of, and people were saying, oh, yeah, no, she's got enough. Like, I'm just going to say what the people say, right? But she's got enough plastic in her. Of course. Like, wow. All right.
All right. So when did Jonah Hex come out?
I want to say wait.
Like 2010 or 11, right? Yeah, go on.
Sorry?
Right, guess.
Oh, 2009 I was going to say, yes.
Oh. Google tells me 2010.
Okay. Right. The one in the middle that we did not choose.
No. All right, I'm gonna look at her from then. But currently saying I'm trying to compare her to then and now.
What, then and now, Megan Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Let
Yeah.
me have a look.
But yeah. Go on.
No, I was saying, Karen. I
was going to ask you because you said something, and I was like, "Oh, you found it already that quickly." But what I was going to say, what did you type in? Are you going to say? Are you going to like? I feel like I'm just picking on the poor girl. But what did you type in to see? What?
Oh, I typed in Megan Fox 2010 and Megan Fox 2024.
And there's a lot of.
Not really. She just looks older.
That's not. That's not what I'm pointing out. I think there's. I think she said she had implants and fillers and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah. Besides that, it's on the same. But back to this film. I enjoyed Aaron. What's his name again? Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed him as Kraven. Maybe I enjoyed him more as Kraven than I did as Quicksilver, if I'm honest.
Would you have enjoyed the film more if he had a Russian accent? I know in the film he doesn't need to because he goes to a London
an American school and stuff. Yeah, they kind of like justify him not having any accent in it. Yeah. I don't know. I think after a while, if he had the Russian accent, it would have got annoying.
I think it would probably be more entertaining though.
I don't know.
I don't necessarily say the Quicksilver accent, but that's probably why he decided not. They decided probably not to do it. But it's a bit weird. Like as people like us know, he's Russian. So why is he not got like? Why is the only guy who? Why didn't Russell Crowe just go American as well? You know?
Yeah, but it's kind of like with Black Widow as well. Like. They gave an American.
But I'm going to say Scarlett Johansson is not. I don't think she can pull off a full-on accent. Florence Pugh, on the other hand.
Yeah, but like.
By the way, it's a bit similar to Crisis on Earth X, where Paul Blackthorne was the only one doing a German accent, and everyone else is speaking normal American accents, which are like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If you had a Russian accent, I think I would take the film less seriously if you had a Russian accent.
Yeah, but then I think that would have increased my enjoyment of it, right? Because it's ludicrous for the sake of being ludicrous. But like you say, right, as a person who did enjoy the film, you would have been distracted by it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
fair.
If Morbius had the Greek accent, like what? But even in like the thing with Morbius though, they like at least with Kraven they explain why it's an American accent, right? They explain it. Morbius they didn't explain why he doesn't have a Greek accent.
Yeah, but then half the time like, Morbius don't even try to explain itself.
No, it doesn't.
I'd say that flippantly because actually, if I recall the film, they do try to. Oh, the injection of the bat serum doesn't whatever.
Yeah, but still, whatever. Yeah. It was
do you think there'll be any more
Sonyverse films?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a small part of me just for like not comedic sake, but for like world's sake that they still have them, because then you can have it's really bad. You can have like your high budget Marvel films and possibly new DC films, and then you'll have your like run of the mill low-ish budget, even though they pay lots of money for it, Sonyverse films. You're like, okay, they're still about, so you have that like middle ground. Yeah. So but doubt it's gonna be a thing now. So
I think I don't know. It's just like, look, man, what money can we make off these films that we could make as merchandise as well and stuff like that. So basically, even if we make a loss on the film, we could still make money elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that's where they kind of gone wrong, because all these characters they picked, they're like, you can't really do like kid stuff for it, because like unless like if they made Kraven like a 12 or whatever, then you could have done like maybe like the kids toys, and you probably could have marketed into like kids and stuff, innit?
Yeah.
But you can't really, like that film was like a 15. There's like blood and everything, so you can't really. Venom, you kind of and you can't.
Yeah.
And then Madam Web was just Madam Web. Like, I don't know who they were trying to appeal to that for. Same Morbius, you know what I mean? Like, Kraven and Venom, you can see like kid appeal to that. You can like market that to like young boys or whatever. Madam Web, you offended men, you offended women, so you can't really who can you market it to?
Yeah.
And then Morbius is just Morbius. Who cares about a vampire? You know, the only vampires people care about apparently like the Twilight one. So
yeah,
it's I don't know. Bobby's, I'm quite sad to see. You know what they should have done though, right? At the end of knowing that this was the last Sonyverse film, you know, at the end of like Deadpool and Wolverine, where they had that little montage saying goodbye to the Fox universe.
Yeah,
they could have kind of done that for the Sonyverse.
I would have liked just to double down on the ludicrousness stuff. But if indeed it was going to be the final film, you have Vulture appear at the end.
Yeah,
we go to Kraven. We're gonna form a team. Thumbs up, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna form a team and then look at the camera and wink like this.
Exactly. This film is not gonna happen.
Oh, that's what they should have done. Oh, it would have been amazing. Would have been amazing.
But yeah, look, are you giving this film a thumbs up? I would like. It's thumbs in the middle. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's just.
I'll watch it again, but how many times after that I'll watch it again? I don't know. But yeah, I'll give it thumbs in the middle. It's not bad. It's not good. It's entertaining.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's just there.
It could have not been there, and I would have been the same. But
yeah, like it did the things films do, so I'm happy. that's a weird way of me putting it, but you know what I mean.
I give you enough props for saying that.
Yeah.
Like it always advertised in the thing in the cinema, right? What's about the story? Get absorbed in the story.
Yeah, I got absorbed into the story. I was like, oh, Kraven, I hope he survives this, and he did.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
We'll see
what happens to the future of the Sony Spider universe, because even though the animated Spider-Man universe is not part of it,
that's gonna go on forever.
Sony has been doing good though.
Yeah, that's gonna go on.
And whether they all decide to use Miles Morales, and Sony are like, then MCU will be like, yeah, but now it's not the time, and then Sony will be like, we're gonna do it anyways because we do it whatever we want. Regardless of whatever you want.
Only sort of like,
we're going to be putting off Ben Reilly. So, and if they do Ben Reilly, I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. Scarlet Spider, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
If you're going to have Spider-Man, like we said before, if you can't have Spider-Man, just sub in Scarlet Spider. I don't.
Exactly. Yeah. No hate there. Or even Spider Girl. You know what I mean? There's so many like ones like you could do. Like,
a Spider Verse, Spider-Geddon, and all that other Spider stuff.
Yeah.
So there are many variants of Spider-Man.
Yeah, so do it. But
Miguel O'Hara, why can't you go to the future?
Then you don't have to like worry about using Peter Parker. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah. But that'll be closing us up for this episode of Trapana Multiverse. I'm the man whose skin turns hard. Wait.
And I'm the man who is a creepy guy who does weird experiments on people and is a nuisance in the actual Spider-Man comics. A nuisance. Why is he? Every bad thing goes back to Miles Warren. It does. Yeah. Kyle Charles, and thank you for listening to us. Review Kraven the Hunter. It's Kraven. That's Kraven 2. Kraven time. Yeah. What do you think they would have called the sequel?
Kraven 2. Electric Boogaloo. But they always call every sequel, right?
Or
by the way, so I don't know if you have ever seen the film Breaking and Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Seen Breaking, not Breaking 2.
Okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
But not Breaking 2. All right. Okay. No. I never. when you always hear Electric Boogaloo, and you're like, "Where's that from?" Like, okay. Like years later, like
that.
I think I found out where it was from like only about 3 years ago, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this meme from way back when we didn't have the internet, right?"
No.
But somehow it crossed over.
It survived like pop culture to be. Everyone knew about it. I would have called number 2 Kraven 2 Back in the Hunt. Yeah, I like Back in Habit, the Sister Act 2. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, give it listen to us. Have you seen the Kraven film? Let us know, or even plan to see in it, or have you written off the I say Kraven Verse, the Sony Spider Verse in total, like Sony has. But if you haven't, or you will, let us know in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching us on the YouTube. You know, subscribe, click, all that lovely stuff. We've got lots of videos and stuff there. Also, if you're listening to this on the audio realm, wherever you're listening to this, don't forget to give a 5-star review, or just a review would be cool. Tell us what you like, and yes, all that lovely jubbly stuff. And you can find all that contact information above. I'm pointing up, but my finger gets cut from the frame, but it's all there. And if you're listening to this, it'll be in the description bit. And thank you guys. Until next time, we will be back, and next show will be kind of Christmassy, right?
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah, that's what we're aiming for, anyways.
2 of the 3, wait, 2 of the 5 are set at Christmas, so by default, all of them are set at Christmas. Right. Yeah, by default. Yeah. And then, until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.
Boo. Wrong button.
So I didn't.